Yo, what is up guys? It's the Nightwing at Way of Life Esports coming at you guys with another League of Legends video here today, talking about the 2020 World Championship Group Stage Day 1 thoughts and opinions. So this first day for the main event for Worlds 2020 had me really excited, and overall some of the games were pretty much stomps, and I even stayed up late to watch FlyQuest versus Top Esports. And after watching that game, I think it automatically set the tone for the rest of the day, because you had stomps in Damwon versus JDG, you had stomps in Rogue versus PSG, Dragon X versus Unicorns of Love. Most games that were played on this day were stomps. Now, let's start with the first match, which was FlyQuest versus Top Esports, and this was the game that I stayed up until it was over, and then I went to bed, obviously because I have to work early in the morning. I actually think that there is such a big gap between Unicorns of Love, FlyQuest, and Dragon X and Top Esports after what I saw today. So, in your pick'ems, it should have been Top Esports and Dragon X, because these two teams are insanely strong. Now, I understand Dragon X have their own issues, but they're not going to be exploited by teams like this, so you don't have to worry about that. But in the first opening game of Top Esports versus FlyQuest, FlyQuest got so destroyed. It was absolutely disgusting to see them get so shit stomped. It was like, I was like, holy shit, why am I even awake this late to watch their game? Now, most people are going to say it's Top Esports. What do you expect? Top Esports, Damwon Gaming, and JDG are the tournament favorites, right? That's understandable, but, like, they were just absolutely destroyed. They had nothing. They could do nothing. I mean, Wild Turtle and Ignar played pretty well in the bot lane for a little bit there, and then, you know, it didn't matter at a certain point. I mean, they had a few good team fights here and there, but even their few good team fights didn't matter because Top Esports literally won, I shit you not, 3 to 6 minutes in. That is, like, holy fuck. That was the biggest stomp I've probably ever seen in a while. That's just crazy. Yeah, I am not expecting FlyQuest or Unicorns of Love to get out. I mean, after seeing today, that should more or less so reassure you they're not getting out. But FlyQuest, I think that unlike Unicorns of Love, they didn't like roll over and die, which was, I guess, but they weren't winning no matter, like, even if they didn't roll over and die, they weren't going to win the game anyway. So yeah, Top destroys FlyQuest. Then you had Dragon X playing Unicorns of Love today, and like, it takes actual effort to lose to a team that doesn't even play fast. Dragon X does not play fast whatsoever. They are a pretty slow team. And then you had Piosic really popping off on the Nidalee. Like, that was just insane. He has been getting a lot more better, and he's been playing a lot more better than what some may lead you on to actually think. I think that Piosic is going to be a key jungler if Dragon X want to get far in the tournament, and I actually personally think that they could potentially match Top Esports for first place in the group, depending on which composition they draft and depending on how they play. Now, if Piosic is playing like what he showed today against Unicorns of Love, then there's a big shot at Dragon X getting first. Now, it doesn't really matter if Dragon X or Top get first or second in the group. All we know right now is that FlyQuest and Unicorns of Love are not making it far, based off the fact that they look so much more weaker compared to these two, where it's just, you can see the big difference in them. You can literally see there's such a big drastic difference in the entire way they even play the game, where one team is literally like 5,000 gold ahead and it's 6 minutes into the game. So that's kind of where I'm on with Group D. And then now I'll move on to Group C. You had Gen G taking on LGD. I think that this was the most exciting game of the day. I actually personally think that Gen G played pretty well overall. I actually think that LGD played fine. Like, Xie made a lot of good, nice Syndra stuns, and I also think that this should pretty much show people that Gen G is not a team to take lightly. Clid is such a valuable part to their team that I don't really think they would be the same team without him. But overall, I would say what really surprised me in the Gen G versus LGD game was that Mark was willing to take those aggressive plays that I didn't really see him take in the playing stage. And then you also got a chance to see Rascal being a bigger impact. I actually like that. Now, BDD, he can be hit or miss sometimes, but he's not really miss ever. But when he's like really playing bad, you notice it. But he was playing okay during this game. I think the most exciting game for this day was Gen G versus LGD. It was back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then at a certain point, Gen G got the upper hand by taking the Baron. And then after that, you saw them close out the game. But overall, this was the most exciting game of the day. The other game, NA versus EU, TSM versus Fnatic. Hey, Fnatic's definitely surprised me today. Fnatic came out with a pretty strong draft, and then you also had most of their team playing pretty well. I mean, outside of Nemesis getting decently shut down by Bjergsen, outside of that, I mean, Bwipo was handling his own in the top lane, and then also Selfmade was up there helping Bwipo. I think that Selfmade understands that in order for Fnatic to have a strong part they can play through, he might just have to play through Bwipo, because Nemesis and Selfmade, even from just the game I saw today, they just don't have good synergy whatsoever. I don't understand why they don't have good synergy. They just don't. That whole plan of them being friends and coming in and playing together doesn't matter whatsoever. It literally doesn't, because Selfmade, if he's going to be on picks like Evelynn, if TSM is willing to give him Evelynn, which they shouldn't, that's just bad. You know, overall, I think the drafting against Fnatic was bad against TSM. Like, if you know that he's really good at Evelynn, why are you giving him Evelynn? Why are you giving Fnatic a lot of their comfort picks? Outside of just Nemesis, he was playing Lucian today against TSM. I really don't understand what was the real reason to give Fnatic these comfort picks. I just don't understand. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense why you would know how this team plays, because most of the West are able to actually watch their games. So you would know which is their strong picks, and you would know which is going to be the picks they're going to thrive on. You know, if you give Hylissang Rakan and you give Reckless Jhin, as a big, strong thing Fnatic know they can play through. Now, for TSM, I'm not going to say anything too bad, because, I mean, it is day one, but you kind of have to factor in they played pretty bad. Like, they played pretty bad. I mean, Broken Blade was okay. Bjergsen was good. You expect that. TSM's bot lane with Doublelift and Spica really need to be a point of where TSM can either play through, or they're going to have to play weak side and then be pretty well in team fights. Spica losing to Selfmade is... Well, Spica's going to lose to everybody, but that is just going to happen, you know? But overall, for the TSM versus Fnatic game, I like that Fnatic out macro TSM. It shows that, you know, some teams still pride themselves on macro, and I actually enjoy that a lot. Outside of that, this group is pretty interesting so far. I would love to see TSM and LGD bounce back, but after today, you might be seeing Gen G and Fnatic top the group. I mean, you never know. Alright, so moving on to Group B, Rogue versus PSG was just a straight up stomp. Like, that's the common theme of today, is that most games were just pretty one-sided. Now, this is kind of the one thing where I think a lot of the EU junglers are going to do. Like, if you leave Evelynn open, they're just going to pick Evelynn, and I personally think that you might just want to take that away if you are drafting against them, but I'm not really too sure. I'm going to have to see the tournament play out more to see how valuable is the Evelynn pick. Now, looking at PSG, people have to understand this. They had subs when they won. Peep that, because I'm going to explain this to you. Their subs got them into the main event, not their main players. That's the thing. So, they're playing with, relatively different players from what we saw. So, their overall strength right now is relatively unknown, because we don't know how strong their real players actually are unless you actually watch the PCS. Rogue did stop them, but, you know, Rogue should be able to do that because you expect Rogue to be third in the group. If Rogue is already predicted to be third in the group, I expect them to be beating the last team in the group. I already predict that. That shouldn't be just a knock to them. but they played so well that the support had 3 kills. It was just like another clear-cut, one-sided stomp. But I'm going to have to see how PSG plays the rest of this group stage. You know, maybe their actual core team is good. Maybe this was just a one-off fluke game where it's like, hey man, we just got beaten in draft. We just got outlaned and everything, because it was pretty bad across the board. It was so terrible. Then you look at Damwon Gaming versus JDG. Now, as you guys know from most videos I have made leading up to Worlds 2020 and all the podcasts that I've done so far, you guys know that I think that Damwon Gaming is the strongest team in Worlds 2020. I think that Damwon have a clear-cut shot at winning the event. And I'm actually predicting Top and Damwon to be in the finals. I know that, you know, sometimes you get these crazy upsets, but hopefully that'll happen. I think that Damwon are absolutely insane. This game against JDG clearly shows that even like there's a gap between Damwon and JDG. Now, as you guys know, there's ways to exploit JDG. You know, a lot of people don't really like to admit that because it would admit that, you know, some of the top Chinese teams have flaws. But what I would say is that Damwon is the clear-cut first place team in this group. I don't see a world where Rogue beats them at all, nor PSG. What they show today should pretty much show you their form for the rest of Worlds 2020. I mean, they're just clean, insanely good mechanically, and insanely good at macro to the point where even if they don't really have the most prestige macro in the game, it doesn't really matter. They're going to stop you either way. Literally, if you have Naguri solo killing Zoom, who was also considered one of the best top laners going into the event, that should show you how strong this team is. Damwon just had a field day with JDG and absolutely destroyed them. And did I not say, Yagao can be beaten if you play it in a certain way correctly against how he wants to play the game. But yeah, that's pretty much it. See you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. Hopefully, Worlds will be a lot more entertaining going into day 2. I'm the Nightwing, and Way of Life Esports is signing out, guys. Peace. Have a good day. See you.
Hi there, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more stuff.
Yeah, thank you.